Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone by, well, just because I can, and I continue with Experience 112, Blind. Now, last time I've only begun reading the files. I've finished at this, the Eden Project, so let's continue. The Eden Base. Eden is a secret military base with a C rank under the authority of the Ministry of Defense's Special Operations. It is located within a 5-level supertanker class ship. The Tank Zone, with the bathyscaphe launchpad, utility bow lockers and unclassified quarters cargo tank. The upper deck, including the Chemical Ecology Laboratory, the Comparative Experimental Ethology Laboratory, the Bleachery, the Stockhold and the cabins. So that's where I'm currently. I'm literally here at this door. Comparative Experimental Ethology Laboratory, change rooms, showers, sauna. The first deck, including the Ethology and Behavioral Pharmacology Laboratory, the Inhalation Laboratory, the kitchens and dining rooms. The area communicates with the outer deck. The second deck, occupied by the medical unit. The third deck, outer, where optical signaling instruments are located. Eden Base Hierarchy. Contrary to other military installation, Eden Base recognizes only 3 levels of hierarchy corresponding to the grades of captain, lieutenant and sub-lieutenant. Military authority wishes to ensure optimal scientific exploration as undertaken by professors, lab directors or by subordinates. Professors are Moshe Zeitfel, Director of Chemical Ecology Laboratory. This guy was in the Flashback and also mentioned in a couple of emails, of Lea Nichols. Francis Pierre, Director of Comparative Experimental Ethology Laboratory. Alan Moraine, Director of the Behavioral Pharmacology Laboratory. Risa Leglind, Director of the Inhalation Laboratory. Abdallah Malik, Director of the Medical Unit. Stephen Algen, Director of the Geology and Tyrannodontology Department, so he's in charge of studying the aliens. Director of the Exterior Triades Zone, so this might be about actually exploring the alien world or something. Andy Leonard, Sub-Lieutenant in the charge of the tanker's stern security. Michael Lincoln, Lieutenant in charge of the Advanced Space Security Unit. Okay. Notes about the computer system. Base is equipped with an internal intranet-type network, linking several dozen terminals installed in the various laboratories. All permanent base personnel can access the network with an alias, usually the first name initial followed by the last name, and a self-selected password. This allows access to the system's general menu and various files. Collaborators, capturing information on Eden personnel. The folders where various documents are archived. Mail, capturing emails. Area maps, cameras, software management. For system maintenance. I don't think I have this file yet. Access codes are required to access certain folders. Okay. Corrupted file. So I can't open any of those for now. Personal file. Chemical Ecology Laboratory Program of Study. As a general rule, the initial Tyriades studies neglected to consider the chemical factors. The questions raised by their most peculiar anatomy shielded this dimension of their metabolism. Many dissections were performed without in-depth examinations of the twin pair of adrenal glands found in the adult samples that we now know secrete hydroxide oxygen. The relationship of this species with its environment cannot be understood without considering the dense and constant chemical exchanges operating between individuals, much like those between certain social inserts, such as the Anisoptera and Hymenoptera. Social inserts? What? I'm not really sure what that means. We recommend the study of those signals on living individuals. We have thus far only been availed of carcasses, often incomplete, be registered in the Chemical Ecology Laboratory program for the year 1971. So this is a recommendation for the future, so I guess the year currently is 1970, which corresponds with most of the files found in the emails. Okay, corrupted. Reports on receptors number 105 to 112. Male individual, stout. Mild diabetes, early arthritis. Lipning test, 78%. Proven telepathic abilities. Several severe allergic reactions upon first inhalation. Formulation interrupted after the incident. Female individual, 23 years old. Mild myopia. 18% on the extrasensory test. 4 positive inhalations. Formulation suspended by the receptor. Not really sure what that means. Female individual. Tobacco use, migraines. Natural kinesis. 5 correct inhalations. Departure for external mission. No return. Male individual. Weak body mass index. Severe cocaine addiction, including LSD. Upon Professor Seidfeld's advice, and despite excellent extrasensory results, formulation interrupted. So they didn't want drug addicts to take part in the program, even though it seems taking LSD actually potentially increased disguised extrasensory perception. Empty record. Run away during base transfer. Oh, so I guess judging from this, they aren't. You don't really volunteer to be a test subject on this ship. Psychological disorders, dual personality, agoraphobia, potomania. I'm not sure what potomania is. 2 inhalation, partial paralysis and cardiac arrest. Death noted. Female individual, 20 years old. And clairvoyant somnambulism. So that means sleepwalking. 7 inhalations. Increased tolerance curve. Departure for external mission. Return. Aphasia, convulsion episodes. Dementia diagnostic proposed by Professor Melik. Suicide during the nights of 26th of May 1970, and this is me, allegedly. Male individual, 28 years old, weak body mass index, medical history, stigmatism, proven telepathic abilities, strong premonitions, Lipning test 96%, best score since number 17, natural kinesis, 11 positive inhalations, departure for external mission, no return. Wait, so it can't be me. I'm here after all, and I'm pretty sure, judging from the intro, that the ship itself is still on Earth. Like there were like seagulls and stuff, and dolphins. I don't think they would have had dolphins on like an alien world or something. So I'm a little bit confused about that, but I guess the records might have been changed. Or, I don't know, maybe I returned it in the meantime and they didn't update it because everything went to shit. Sensitive files. Okay, I don't have the code for that yet. So I guess it's time to finally go to collaborators. Yeah, those are all the other researchers, but I only have her file open for now. Professor researcher at the Laboratory of Chemical Ecology and the head of experimental treatment of the receptors 87 to 112.
Done? All right. Now you're in my personal record. The door code should be in it. Memorize it. Now, open the area map and click on the door. The system will prompt you for its code. Enter it. Got it? I'll let you do it.
Wait a second. Accreditation code, access codes. Code to access 251803.
Are you following me? The code is in my personal record. You have to enter it after clicking on the door on the map.
251803.
All right, you opened it. Thanks.
But isn't this like flooded with...
We have to get in there. But how?
With deadly radiation of whatever? Well, I guess let's go check this. Are you coming? Okay, those cameras don't give me the best view, to be honest. But it seems she's unable to enter this. Well, let's go and check this laboratory. It seems to be well, not necessarily unspoiled.
I'll enter my alias and password. You'll find it in my shared folders.
What I meant is, it's not filled with deadly radiation or something, which is a...
There's a zoom add-on for the camera. It should be here since it wasn't in John's room. John was a close colleague of Professor Zeitfeld. He often visited the Chemical Ecology Laboratory. All right, we have to get our hands on the add-on.
Okay, presumably it's on the desk, right? That's where I would put it.
Do you have it? Excellent.
Okay,
and what's this? We'll see to that later. Let's take care of the add-on first. It needs to load. Done.
Okay, so now I should have a zoom
I've got
function.
It. Can you connect yourself to the camera? It should be possible from the area map. Great.
Whoa. Is she going to carry the camera with her, or like, what's her deal exactly?
This is the robot I was telling you about. But to enable it, we need a code. Professor Zeitfeld must have noted it in his personal record. Let's try to access the system under his profile. Enter the professor's name in the alias field at the top left of the screen. M. Zeitfeld. M.ZEITFEL. Now his password. Do you have it? No? He had a bad memory, so he wrote it down somewhere for sure.
Oh, sure.
It can't be far. Let's look for it.
Sure, that's how it works in secret bases. Is that a game console? Weird, but whatever.
Like I said, Professor Zeitfeld had a very bad memory. Look at each file. His password and access code should definitely be in his sensitive files.
But wait, how can I access his files if I can't even log in as him? Yeah. So I'm not really sure what's her deal. Like, I have to find the actual physical copy of the password somewhere, I guess. Or at least that's what I think. Okay, there's nothing on this piece of paper, at least. Doesn't look like it. Is this even his office? There was...
Like I said, Professor Zeitfeld had a very bad memory. Look at each file. His password and access code should definitely be in his sensitive files.
What are you talking about? My alias and password. So that's her. So that doesn't help me in the slightest. And this is blocked. So I don't... What happens if I click on help?
We are in Professor Zeitfeld's chemical ecology laboratory. The only way to retrieve the magnetic card is to take control of the robot assistant.
Okay, but what's with the password first? It can be it. This is just a number of
Like
the
I
parcel.
said, Professor Zeitfeld had a very bad memory. Look at each file. His password
Okay.
and access code
Wait,
should
really?
definitely be in his sensitive files.
Really? Are you telling me? Okay, let's try. If this is the code, then the guy is an idiot. Like, it's actually kind of retarded, especially considering this is okay. At least he's saved. He's safe on that accusation. But also, let's try the memoriam. Memoriam.
Have you found the password? After you enter it, you'll find the robot code in Professor Zeitfeld's personal record.
Okay, but actually, I wanted to just very briefly go back to here and take a look at the schematics. I hope she won't go
Waiting.
all the way back. Obviously, she has no way of actually seeing the light, but you know, you never know how the game itself is going to work. Because there was like a thingamajig schematic card or something, but it's illegible, so doesn't really matter. Let's go back here. And let's check the guy's files. So first, his mail. Is anything else? Yeah, there are a couple of them that are unlocked from his position. Because this was sent to everyone, network restored, but this is new. This is new, for example. Endoscopic camera. Hello, John. I am inquiring again about the endoscopic camera prototype, which I continue to require urgently. What's the status? Hello, Professor. It is difficult for me to upgrade a piece of equipment without knowing its use. You told me it was used for internal exploration of animal carcasses, but which animals using which channels? Respiratory, digestive? The details would greatly assist in the design of the camera. You've asked me these questions already and I've answered them. The ongoing dissections are confidential, and I cannot reveal to you neither the animal nor describe the nature of the operation. Do your best, but know that I require the endoscope before the end of the month, or else the already faltering project will be even more delayed. I am counting on you. Okay. Receptors preparation. I've read that already from her perspective because it was sent from him to her. This as well. But this is new. Pamphlet on pain. Hello, Mike. You'll find herein a memo from the High Command about reducing pain in current and future receptor test subjects. I appreciate you drafting a record accordingly. Hello, Professor. I'll do this as early as tonight. However, my lab budget is already tight and I cannot afford to revive the 15 receptors relieve the 15 receptors recruited every year. Wouldn't this funding be better used in acquiring a new defibrillator? Ours is on its last legs. I agree, but the High Command wants nothing to hear of it. These gentlemen fear that a receptor returning to a civil life retells of the treatment that they received here. These gentlemen, of which do you speak? Are they aware of the number of receptors having survived our experiments, or those fewer still who saw the light of day? Enough joking around. I'm awaiting your report. Yeah, so it's clear from this and from some earlier discussions they've had that most test subjects don't make it in the long run. Okay, files. I've read that already. Personal files. Those are his personal files, so they are different. Yeah. So let's look through them. HO Human Outlooks Part 1. Hydroxide oxygen is a hydroxide exuded naturally by adult thyreoids. Watery secretions from all 4 adrenal glands, characterized by weak viscosity, blue tint, darkened when in contact with air, a strong odor reminiscent of ammonia, and a high luminescence. As a general rule, human metabolism appears to be unreceptive to hydroxide oxygen. Injection of HO is lethal in all cases. Inhalation is better tolerated, but nonetheless provoked anaphylactic shock in 37% of receptors, mild discomfort in 89%, and 1 accidental death. Achieved its synthesis in 1964. Ongoing work is focused on the elaboration of the universal substrate for medical and industrial applications. It has been shown that when administered in small doses to trained individuals, HO contributes to the revitalization of the human organism, suppression of the aging process, regulation of vital functions, regression of certain acute diseases appear feasible under the condition, of course, that ill-intended laboratories do not divert the proceeds of this fabulous discovery. Okay. Statistical analysis of receptors number 1 to 111. Statistics have been generated. They reveal deficient follow-up analysis of the files, resulting in a backlog of receptor circuits by ineligible individuals. Extrasensory tests conducted by Army lacking precision. We request that these tests are from now on conducted by the base's scientific personnel. Invalid and incoherent receptor reinsertion program. Rumors produce executions after summary judgments or forced exile. What? Does this refer to them killing the receptors that survived the mission? Like summary judgment or forced exile? What? Exile isn't even... Like, I fail to see a modern society where exile is even a form of punishment. Like, it was used historically sometimes, but I find it weird. Insufficient final procedure or exterior mission. Many test subjects were lost due to an adapted training program. For this reason, we recommended the creation of the psychological cell designed for receptor follow-up prior to and after the mission. Again, I don't quite understand what that means. Corrupted files, report on chemical ecology and links with insects. The animal terms commonly used to designate thyreoids and their imposing size, exceeding that of a human, suggests attractive but false ideas that they are distant relative of large terrestrial mammals, cousins of the monkey or the sloth. In fact, a closer examination reveals that the thyreoids are not root suckers of simian evolution, but constitute a different branch, altogether new, of this species' genealogical tree. In reality, their structure and physiology resemble those of insects. Their chemical processes liken them more to Hymenoptera than gorillas. Like ants, they seem to possess a rudimentary pheromone-based language. And also like ants, they appear to have developed a collective intelligence superior to their individual capabilities, which has never been evaluated. The study of the thyreoids surely holds many surprises to be revealed to the researchers of the world. A report on the thyroid pheromones, Part 1. The thyroid pheromone study could not be undertaken in the laboratory because of the extreme vulnerability of the chemical agents used as sustenance and for mobility. Furthermore, Dr. Malik and I have successfully isolated in a basic sodium hydroxide formula a hostile AB pheromone lifted from a combat thyroid corpse hours earlier. The analysis of this unique sample allowed us to identify certain base molecules with the technique called gaseous phase chiromatography, and to detect the active elements with electroantenography. Though decomposed, the pheromone could be analyzed. It linked to isometric Z and E from something in unequal proportions, 3 and 6. The scientific literature explains that a pheromone with the same composition was attributed to a terrestrial insect, the eastern pine shoot borer, an eastern Canadian pine pest. Okay. Again, not entirely sure what's that about, but wait, what am I even doing? I'm trying to get a code for the robot, right? So okay, so it was the password 123445, which is mightily embarrassing. Like, it's embarrassing even just for a regular person. If you make your password 12345, then I have bad news for you. But it's like straight up hilarious if you're a member of the military and of the like a super secret research team or something. But anyway, evaluation notes for Professor Nichols was admitted to the chemical ecology against my advice and the advice of Professor Morin, but with the support of the military authorities. During the following months, she demonstrated her scientific abilities, but above all, her great ability with people and her great compassion, which motivated me to change my view of her. Thereafter, she was mandated to follow up with all receptors during the training phase. My evaluations of her have always been positive, and I must admit that she proceeds with her mission effectively. She was a warm, dynamic, and engaged person who is slightly emotional and excessively empathetic. She is also an attractive young woman who seduced me from the start and continues to awaken in many members of the base feelings that I cannot detail appropriately in this forum. What? That's straight up creepy. Like, why would you write that in an official why would you write that in an official employee evaluation? Why would you write that? Why does it even matter that she's an attractive young woman? And why would you write, she has seduced me from the start, continues to awaken feelings that I cannot describe? Like, you are describing them by using this phrasing. It's kind of creepy and weird and wrong. Like, I don't think you should write things like that in a professional setting. If he was infatuated with her, they could have talked about it in private, but I don't think it's appropriate to write things like this in an official evaluation from work. Espionage suspicions. For a long time, I paid no attention to rumors circulating about the presence of spies. My scientific mind did not allow me to believe these spiteful rumors, often formulated by jealous colleagues. I am forced today to submit that these rumors may have some basis. I am not one to reveal information more than anyone else. Yet, in submitting the names of my assistants, or even as weird as it may sound, the French chef, this guy, I feel I am fulfilling my duty. It is my most firm conviction that the spy is found among these 5 characters, a spy from a secret brotherhood, infiltrated among us to sabotage the Eden Project. I will double my efforts in the days to come to unmask this individual and stop them from fulfilling their mission. Interesting. So, I guess she is one of the suspects for being a spy. which is interesting also coupled with this, because she was transferred to this research team with the support of the military, but with the against the advice of some of the base personnel. But then again, why would the military spy on an operation that's conducted, with the help of the military in the first place? That doesn't seem to make much sense. Notes on receptor 112. Passed medical testing and has succeeded the battery of extrasensory trials. From that moment on, his above-average results signaled him as a promising candidate. Inhalations began immediately, to which the receptor responded well, despite his exhaustion and superficial degradation of his pulmonary system caused by high acidity of the hydroxide oxygen. During the 11th inhalation, well tolerated, I decided jointly to send him without delay to an external mission. Passed through the Tyrate's doors, which I guess is like a door to the other dimension of the aliens. July 22. The video signal was lost in the hours following, and the radio signal shortly thereafter. As of the current day, he has not returned. I have no sign that he survived in the Tyrate's world, not if he has encountered any animal subjects for our study. However, the physical disappearance changes nothing about his relevance to our research. It appears he is more than a skilled human, but a mutating entity whose final evolution remains unknown. As a side note, the attraction of Lea Nichols to the receptor was clearly incompatible with their respective missions. I intend to reprimand her accordingly. Okay. Olfactory communication in common Tyrates, Part 1. Tyrates' communication is strongly conditioned by their environment, which is not conducive to propagation of natural sound or light. It is thereby a chemical message which animals exchange with their elaborate emitting receptor organs, whose designs remain relatively unknown. Professor Morin's experiments have established that an adult specimen born from a specialized caste, the warrior caste, could identify over 1 million olfactory emissions and produce them an innumerable number of combinations. What is the purpose of these messages? Firstly, they allow Tyrates to recognize each other and cast out intruders, not only individuals from other species, but also from the other castes or colonies. Otherwise, the olfactory signals specify the precise moral and functional state of the group. Therefore, various community events, births, disappearance, conflicts, generate corresponding chemical message whose nuances appear virtually infinite. Okay. What is known as Tyrate's olfactory language is based on the emission of simple pheromone structures coded with an convention AA. AA, natural contact. AB, hostile response to other. AC, kind response to the same kind. And AD, dominant caste encounter protocol, etc., etc., etc. They are similar to synthesized pheromones from terrestrial mammals, despite the inclusion of unknown molecules. The emission is produced by a double pair of secreting glands, squeezed at the right time by an auto-contracting muscle. The process is extremely rapid. Urgent messages such as alerts, mortal danger, attacks are generated, emitted, and received within 1/100th of a second. A much better performance than human interlocutors using words. This comparison is, however, dangerous. There is no proof of Tyrate's intelligence, nor of a complex language structure. The current state of our knowledge affirms that those creatures are private by nature, and with reason. Okay. Secured official codes. M. Lloyd, Palmer. Okay, so I could access other files, but to be honest, I think I'm going to have a little break from reading for a bit, you know, progress the story a little bit, because otherwise I could spend the next hour just reading all the files, and it's going to be a little bit boring perhaps. So instead, I'm looking for the code to the robot, right? That's her files, not side files. Where would it be? Collaborators. Moshe side file. Memoriam. Okay, code to the assistant robot. 521 AG18. 521. Okay. 521 AG18.
Right on. A control console should have appeared on the system screen. If not, you can use the keyboard arrows and the spacebar. Now we just need to guide the robot to the dissection room. I'm exhausted now, and have a terrible headache. Go ahead. Try to take the item from the corpse's hands. I'm going to rest for a minute.
Okay, let me switch to the camera that's actually attached to the robot. Okay, and this is the chamber in the middle that I couldn't access before, but presumably it's going to open now, because the robot is like going to go through a what's the word? Not decompression. What's the word? I forgot the word. Where you cleanse the pathogens or whatever. Not decomposition. Damn it, I forgot the word, but you know what I mean. Although it doesn't seem to be true. Okay, I did something. I guess I'm just moving one of the arms, which isn't particularly helpful. But okay, the door opens automatically. Okay, I should be just I should just go next to the table and then stretch the arm or something too. But how would I do that? Yeah, hopefully it's going to grab the item automatically or something. Magnetize the arm. Did it? Okay, it didn't quite work. Okay, I think I did get it now, because it's here, right? So let's turn and go back, because I don't think there's anything else here. At least not outwardly. And it's not like... I also doubt I can hold more than one item at a time, so... let's just bring it back to her. Oh, right, I remembered the word I was looking for. The word was decontamination chamber. Right. Okay, come on, little robot. You're a little bit confused here. For freak's sake, don't tell me... Okay, it's slowly going forward, so maybe it's going to work out at the end.
So, did you get the card?
Yes.
Very good. I'll keep it.
Okay, and now I should be able to open...
Well done. Now let's get out of here. I suspect that the air is saturated with hydroxide oxygen.
It probably is, but will she know where to go on her own, or do I have to guide her back? It seems she's confident enough. Although, was I here? Oh, well, go here. Because I don't think I was in this room, and this looks interesting, potentially important, but I guess I might go there once I open the door. For now, let her get her fix.
Good, the card works. This is an area server switch. When changing areas, you have to click on it to enable a new network of cameras. Careful, I'm flicking the switch.
So it's like it's to mask a loading screen in the game, but as I said, the loading screen in itself is part of the design of the security system and part of the world of the game, in a way. Comparative Experimental Ethology Laboratory, Upper Deck.
Hello, here I am. We've changed areas. This is the Comparative Experimental Ethology Laboratory. I know these premises, but everything has changed. Looks like there was some fighting. Was the base under attack? But from whom? And why? Strange mist.
Ah, she's going... No, I didn't want to... Damn it. Didn't want to do that. I didn't look what it was before I clicked on it, and it was the switch to go back, but obviously I don't need nor want to do that at the moment. So, let's go back again.
Good, the card works. I'm flicking the area server switch. Careful, I'm flicking the switch.
Okay. Now... don't click on that. Yet. Not sure what that is, but... Oh, I guess it's another one of those computers. And maybe she can do something important with it. Well, I guess not. She's actually partially sunken into it, which I don't think was intended. Actually, go back to here. Did it like house lab mice or something?
Here. I've been here. Oh no. It's back. My head.
What's gotten into you, Nichols?
The poor cat. You can hear him screeching all over the base.
Fine, I'll close the door.
This is not behavior befitting of a scientist.
I lead my experiments as I see fit. Ethology is not your specialty as far as I know.
Nor is it yours. Don't forget, I have authority over you, Lloyd. My rank is higher than yours. I recommend you watch your language.
I only take orders from Moshe Zeitfeld, the lab director.
Well, you should be careful I don't report this conversation. I doubt he would appreciate your insolence. And another thing, Lloyd, what are you doing with the receptors?
What? What are you talking about?
Are you asking them for money?
Who told you that?
Listen, Lloyd, I'm not interested in rumors, but if you're running a receptor racket, I'll initiate disciplinary action to ensure it stops. We are under military jurisdiction, don't forget.
You're protecting the receptors.
Shut up.
Don't you like me, Nichols?
Well, let's say I care as much as you do for this cat.
Okay, so I guess those are her flashbacks.
That's it, it's done. I wonder what these images mean. It was like a dream, or maybe a memory. Everything is confused. Lloyd. Mike Lloyd. A real scumbag. Now there's one I won't miss.
I guess it's like her memory, and maybe I'm viewing it because I'm seeing her thoughts. After all, I'm a psychic, allegedly. Because obviously the subject 112 wasn't in that scene, and yet I still saw it. There's more of those weird plants, which I'm pretty sure must be connected with the aliens somehow, because this doesn't look like any earthly plant I know of. I guess more will be revealed as the game continues, you know. Well, any insight on the strange plant? There's a bulkhead here.
You want me to search in there? Are you sure?
Yes. It seems important. Is she going to put her hand in there?
Ah! Did you see? Did you see that plant? A plant that moves like an animal. Is that possible?
Well, actually...
If I still had my materials, I could study them. I wonder if what we've discovered will be useful one day.
Actually, I feel like that's...
Nothing of interest here, anyway.
Partially possible even in real life. Obviously, not to such an extent, but there are plants that move. And there are even plants that are carnivorous, you know. They eat insects. And incidentally, they look kind of similar to this. Not as big, obviously. But I feel like this episode has been long enough, so I'm going to park her around here. And actually save it and end it. It's not the most exciting game, but I do appreciate the thought behind the design of this. It's certainly at least a little bit original, and I am willing to give it a try. So that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.